Hello, this is the group podcast proposal presented by Matthew and I. Our first episode on the basis of things to change in the world, the topic that we will be getting into is titled Protecting the Motion of the Ocean. The ocean is the largest ecosystem on Earth and contains 80% of all life on Earth. Across many decades, there has been a major environmental problem, putting not only humans' life at risk, but also marine life at risk. Polluting the ocean is an extreme problem that continues to this day. Cleaning the ocean should be a topic that should be discussed. Ocean pollution has devastating effects on marine life and ecosystems. The ocean generates over half of the oxygen that we breathe on land, and microplastics that go into the ocean have been found to enter the food chain, and they are carcinogenic and that can affect our body's endocrine system, causing serious disorders and disease. This important topic is what we believe in, and we are presenting it in our podcast to spread awareness.
First, microplastics have a devastating effect on marine life and ecosystems. Over 700 aquatic species have been adversely affected by microplastics. Now, with the ocean's economy valued at $1.5 trillion and set to grow to up to $3 trillion by 2030, that's a huge impact in the global economy. Now, in the article, enhanced monitoring of life in the sea is a critical component of conservation management and sustainable economic growth. They state, quote, in the sea, which represents about 95% of the biosphere, biodiversity depends on and influences water quality and other ocean state variables such as temperature and nutrients, carbon and oxygen concentration, and bottom structures such as reefs, end quote. Now, with 700 aquatic species being adversely affected, that is a huge toll on the biodiversity of the ocean. And since it represents 95% of the biosphere, that's a huge impact in the entire global environment. Second, the ocean generates about 50% of the Earth's oxygen. Now, yes, the ocean does use a lot of that oxygen for itself. However, what's happening is microplastics are affecting the algae that's producing all of the oxygen. And so we are having less oxygen, meaning the ocean has less oxygen and we have less oxygen. Now, in the ocean, that is in the form of pockets of what's called hypoxia, where there's not enough oxygen. And you may have seen it on the news. It's just widespread areas of dead fish and marine life floating through the ocean. And lastly, microplastics are entering the food chain. Now, this is probably the biggest deal affecting us humans. As stated, the ocean's economy is $1.5 trillion, so it's not really an option to stop eating fish. What's happening is the algae are mixing with the microplastics, the fish are eating the algae, bigger fish are eating those fish, so it's this cycle, and then eventually it gets to us where we eat those fish contaminated with the microplastics. Now, these microplastics include pigments, antioxidants, flame retardants. They are toxic, carcinogenic, and they disrupt our endocrine system. It leads to inflammatory throughout the body, which is not a good thing.
80% of life on Earth is in the oceans. Oceans makes oxygen, regulates climate, and feeds us, and people throw trash in there like it won't affect our well-being. This topic that we discussed in our podcast is to spread understanding of the dangers we are doing to our waters. We must work together to protect and save the ocean for the sake of our future survival on this planet. You've listened to the entire episode, and for that we want to thank you. We hope you've enjoyed this new episode and hope you listen to our future episodes. Thank you.